So welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be going over a super important thing when it comes to trading, and that is understanding that the market is fractal and every single time frame is the same, and how can you actually benefit from this knowledge. Because if you understand that the market is fractal, you will understand liquidity traps and everything else much easier. So in this video I'll be going over everything you need. So let's get right into it. So if you've been following me on this channel, you understand that this is my entry model, and also the same exact model is my hard time frame model to identify direction. Okay, so as you can see, we got this liquidity sweep, we have this fake move, and then sell off. Okay, so this is the exact same model I look for on a hard time frame to enter these sells. By the way, this level 25,413 was sent in Discord. Okay, so we took sells from this level, but I'm not gonna go into entry model, stop loss in this video, but only the hard time frame direction, because the hard time frame direction is the same exact way that I will be entering the sells. If you see my post on Instagram, I also use some type of moving averages. Okay, so this is my confirmation that the selling phase has begun. Okay, so once we're gonna have a close below certain moving average, now I know that the selling phase is confirmed, and this low will most likely become trap. So once we're going to break and close below this yellow moving average, now this whole level will become our selling level. Okay, so we can enter around this level and just hold towards this low right here. As you can see, this entry point is lining up with the level I sent to Discord. So this is the exact entry model. And if you understand the simple logic that every single time frame is the same, now you can understand liquidity traps much easier. Because if you look at a weekly time frame, on a weekly, we had this black candle. Okay, so we had this black candle, then we opened, we had another black candle right here. Okay, so let's mark the opening. Okay, so weekly open. Let's go back to the 1H. And on a 1H, as you can see, the weekly open is at the same time that the trap is gonna happen. Okay, so we had this liquidity sweep where people will be looking for buys. We had this weekly open right after the fake market shift. I understand that the week is going to be bearish. Now, all I have to do is wait for sell confirmation, which means around this level, the market will create a lot of traps for buyers, for sellers. And all I have to do is wait till price will close below my moving average. Once you're going to close below the moving average, I'm just going to enter a sell above the certain high, and I have this whole level for sells. So if you understand the weekly candles, daily candles, 4H candles and 1H candles, you'll have the best understanding of traps. Okay, so the only thing I needed to know is that we had liquidity sweep, we had fake market shift, and we had weekly open at the same level. So now all I'm gonna do is wait for price to close below my moving average, and that's it. Okay, super simple. That's how simple should trading actually be. You don't have to use some type of session lows, session highs, previous daily highs, previous daily lows. Market doesn't care about these levels. All you have to understand is candles. If you understand candles, everything else is simple, because you understand that candle will open, create wick, and probably go lower. And if the candle will open around trap level, most likely this move will be fake. So now we'll just wait for price to close below the moving average, which would be, for example, this green level. So once you're going to close below it, entry point, stop loss, and now we have this whole selling phase, and we can enjoy these profits. Okay, so let's say we have some type of flow on the left, and if we're going to enter around this level, now this risk to reward is actually beautiful. It can be around like 1 to 5. In this example, we got the daily open around this level. Okay, so on Wednesday, we went lower and closed of the daily open. So the daily candle looked something like this. Okay, I will not go into details how to catch the bottom point. Okay, so entry point, stop loss, and literally had to take profit above the daily open. When indices are going up, these market shifts to the downside will be just traps for the daily open to create wick and go higher. Okay, so every time you see market shift to the downside, it usually means that the daily candle just created a wick and most likely will close bullish like this one. Okay, so on a daily time frame, it looks something like this. Okay, so this is the opening, price went lower to trap sellers, so we broke below this low. Then we have a bunch of sellers entering the market, but we understand that it's just daily open to create fake move and continue higher, and this happens on every single time frame. Okay, so the same thing happens on a 1H candle, 4H candle, and every single time frame. Okay, so let's say we got this 1H opening. Okay, so on a 1H, we opened around this level. So the previous candles, we went higher. The next 1H candle, this one, we opened, went lower to create wick. Okay, so this is the wick. This is the movement to the downside. On a low time frame, like 5-15 minute, we created market shift. And after market shift, most people will be looking for sales from this order block. Okay, so for example, let's say we got some sort of liquidity on the left. We have displacement, market shift, blah, blah, blah. And now we got sellers at this level. So now this is a liquidity point for us to continue higher after market shift. Because we understand that this movement to the downside was just 1H opening to create a wick and continue higher. Okay, so you can also use this when you trail in your stop loss. For example, when you trail in stop loss like this and you have new 1H open, you can actually move the stop loss a bit lower because you can expect pullback of the 1H candle to create wick and then go higher. Okay, super simple. Hopefully it makes sense. This is just small introduction. I'm not gonna go into details. So if you understand the candles, now you just need some type of edge that is happening over and over again with rule-based system, so you can actually be profitable long-term and not just for a couple of weeks. Okay, so this is the way we use to be profitable every single month in 2025, just by understanding candles and overall liquidity traps. So this was just manipulation for buyers. Now we have the true liquidity points below these levels, this weekly open, and this low on the left. Okay, so if we're gonna enter sales around this level, now this is a free way past your funded challenge with just 1 or 2 trades. So when it comes to this price action, we had this manipulation, then we have a new weekly open. So I was expecting the weekly candle to create wick and then bearish body like this. Okay, super simple. So I entered at the wick. As you can see, this is the wick. This is the entry point I sent to Discord. Okay, so the weekly candle looks something like this. Okay, so we had this wick. Then we had this bearish body towards this low on the left. This is the entry point. This is the stop loss. Actually, the stop loss was a bit lower. Okay, I think around this level. And this is the best possible way to identify traps in the market in a simple way. All I have to do is wait for my confirmations. So, hard time frame to be aligned. Okay, so this whole price session will just show me that the price will go lower. And once I had the bearish bias, all I had to do is wait for price to confirm that the selling phase is starting just by closing below my moving average. Weekly candle created a wick, aka manipulation. We entered inside the manipulation with whoever controls the market. So most people were looking to buy after this market shift and liquidity sweep. But if you understand the market a bit deeply and how indices, gold actually moves, this was the easiest trade to catch. So if you want to learn this method into details, you can join my Discord. You can take my trades and make money every single month. And that's it. If you got any questions, you can just leave it in the comments or DM me on Instagram, and see you next time.